Hey guys, it's your boy Frisian the UAT. It's been a long time making reaction videos, and I thought it's the appropriate time to react to a video. And normally I don't do this thing, but it's Halloween themed, so we're gonna react to the creepiest stories. Yeah, if you can see, yeah, flexing the chain, yeah. Anyway, let's get into the business and watch what we have for creepy stories. Anyway, let me put this right there. Come on, come on, come on. Nice, nice, good stuff. Right,
I'm a
story one.
female, 42, and this is why I can't trust the holiday.
I shall switch the light
My
off.
mom and dad adopted me when I was 3 months old because my birth parents couldn't
Ah, nah,
afford to
that's a
have a
viral.
child at the time, which is why they gave me the best shot at a good life. My adoptive parents have
Do
been
not
the
ask me
best
why I
parents
did
that I
that.
could have asked for. They have done everything for me and still continue to be my support system when things go wrong. I'm grateful for them, and I'm glad that they weren't harmed on that night. Halloween was a good time of year for me. I got to spend it with my friends and family. I was able to decorate the house and watch all of the kids in the neighborhood get a good scare from our house. I generally enjoyed being able to sip on apple cider while telling spooky stories to the neighbors' two kids. They were good kids that I babysat when I was home from college. I was home for the weekend, so I spent as much time with my parents as I could before I had to go back and finish out the semester. My mom had to make a last minute shopping trip, so I opted to go with her. We had been walking down the street for about 45 minutes before I even noticed that people passing by were giving us questionable looks. I continued for another few minutes before I leaned close to my mom. "What are they looking at?" I asked my mom. "They're staring at you," she whispered. "Why though? I don't know any of them." I frowned. "Don't think too much of it, honey. They probably just confused you for someone else." Uh, Probably. I couldn't stop thinking about the weird looks that those people had given me. I was just walking through town with my mom before we had to pass candy out. We grabbed lunch, finished our last minute shopping, and headed home to get ready for the night to begin. The freaking sight that I went home to was bizarre. My dad had been watching the news and saw a picture of me. Apparently, I had robbed a bank and shot two people who were in critical
Framed.
condition earlier that week. The thing that baffled me the most was the fact that I'd never done anything illegal in my entire life. The fact that I was wanted for a crime that I didn't commit sent my mom into high alert. She started talking about the what ifs of the situation, and my dad seemed to know what she was talking about. The police showed up at my house, arrested me, and brought me in to
Feds.
ask me questions about the robbings and shootings earlier that week. They did release me, but they told me not to leave town because they'd be back if they had any more questions. My family was livid.
Well, Lord,
The
that's sad.
entire thing made me sick to my stomach. I laid down in my room for a while before waking up to hear someone screaming downstairs. I hurried down the staircase to see a girl who looked like me screaming at my parents.
Ah, you got
She
the
was
right
demanding
one.
to know why they didn't take
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
her too. Turns out that I was an identical twin. My parents adopted me after another family had adopted her. I got the better end of the adoption because my parents had money, were educated, and had good careers, whereas her parents were drug dealers. She dropped out of high school,
Well,
skipped
Lord.
college, and became a stripper at some club 3 cities over. Her parents had told her about me when she was 21. It took her a few years to finally track me down, and she stalked me for months after finding me.
Well, Lord, that's
This
sad.
girl was committing crimes in my town, and people thought it was me, all because I didn't know that I had a twin. My twin was on something, some sort of drug. She was angry and finally had enough of my mom begging for her to just leave us alone that she shot her right in my mom's leg.
Well, Lord,
She
that's
ran away from the house. I called for help and my mom was taken to the hospital.
what the.
The police later arrested my sister for attempting to rob a convenience store a few blocks from my house, and she was charged for the crime she committed and sentenced with 30 years in prison.
30
She
years.
writes me occasionally. She threatens my parents and myself because she still can't let go of the fact that I grew up with a better life. At times, I'm still baffled at the fact that she exists at all. It truly was like a horror movie. I feel bad for her, but it's not something that could have been prevented. It happens, and Halloween isn't my holiday anymore,
I don't celebrate
all
it anyway.
because of my insane twin.
That was creepy. Let's see. Oh yeah, the volume's max. My story two. We're neighbors. Let's see
I
this.
recently moved to a new area due to my work, and it's far away from my family and friends. It's a weird little cul-de-sac area. I'm currently working on finding friends here, but I work Monday through Friday and go to visit my parents on the weekends, so it's very hectic. I start at 7 a.m. and finish around half 6 or 7 at night, so you can imagine that when I get home, I just want to eat and go to sleep. One day I come home and there's this old couple standing outside my door. They introduce themselves as the couple that lives directly opposite my house, and even hand me some home cooked dinner. I say thank you and mention that I would invite them in, but there's still a lot of boxes everywhere, and I was quite embarrassed. I say I've moved to a new city on my own due to work. We small talk for a few more seconds, and I'm soon inside my house. I honestly put the food that they've given me in the fridge and think I'll just head straight to bed. In the morning, I see the food that they've given me half eaten and now in the sink. I must have been way too tired last night to remember eating this. The next night, I'm coming home from work, and I see the old lady waving at me from her kitchen window. I vaguely wave back and head inside. Nothing else really happens that night. The next night, I've had the shittiest day ever at work. I had to stay behind at work half an hour over due to an unhappy customer, and I had been craving my bed all day. I pull up outside my house, and I see the old couple standing outside their house. Are they keeping a record of what times I come home? I quickly ask myself. I'm honestly not in the mood for creepy ass neighbors and making small talk again. I didn't know these people, and I don't know or understand why they're trying to socialize with me. Plus, the day I've had, I'm not in the best of moods. I brace myself for the lame conversation that I'm about to have. Getting out of my car, I just wave generally in their direction and start fumbling in my purse to find the keys to my front door. Excuse me, miss. Come over for some dinner? You look so tired, the old lady
That's
had said to
weird,
me.
man.
I vaguely
You know, if you reject it, it's like an insult. But that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird, you know.
say something about me being too tired while generally getting annoyed. They wouldn't hold up. I open my door and I'm just about to step into it. The old guy comes across the road and even takes his hand on my arm, looks me dead in the eyes, and says something cheery about how his wife makes the best pie. Okay, whatever.
I
I
think they're
thought
gonna
I'd
kill
go
you,
over
black.
for a cup of tea and some pie and nicely try to explain to them that I've had a shitty day and that I should be heading off. Hopefully, they would take the hint. After shutting my door and stepping into their house, the old guy slams the door shut and locks it. They both proceed to tell me that around half 7 they were looking out the windows for me to give me some chicken stir fry that they had cooked and saved for me that night.
Bro, that's
They both
peaking, or
clearly
that's
saw a
stalking,
man
blood.
standing in my
That's
bedroom
stalking.
window and saw him walk downstairs. They could see him in the living room window walking into the kitchen. They said that they saw my car come into the cul-de-sac and saw him rush back past the living room window and obviously up the stairs. They had called the police and had tried to stop me from entering my house. Whoever it was clearly upstairs hiding somewhere. My heart fell. I felt dizzy. I glanced to my bedroom window, expecting to see someone there, but nothing was there, just the curtains wide open. The police turned up shortly after, and I had to wait outside while they searched the house. In the crawl space, right outside my bedroom door, they found a homeless man curled up.
What
He had
the?
been living there for the last 2-ish weeks, and according to him, he had snuck in when the moving packers had left the door open while struggling with something. He had been in the house and watching me while I had been asleep, and would come out while I was at work and away for the weekends.
Yo, imagine this guy is staring at you. He'd be like, let me do this example. Like, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Don't mind me, I'm just finding you pretty. You're just sleeping. How you doing? How you doing? Okay, enough of that. Let's get back into the business. I thought they were the neighbor were creep. That's why we should not judge fast. But let's watch more. Oh, they say story free.
This happened back in 2005. My
I was
ex and I were
born.
still together at this point, and we had an apartment in a 6 unit building. We were on the second floor, only one door to enter or leave. One afternoon, my then husband wanted to go over to the university campus to hang out at their library and check email and such, and asked if I wanted to come with him. I said no. I had a paper I had to write for a class and needed to get that done. He left, and I started getting settled in to do some writing when I hear the door open and shut again, and I thought he'd forgotten something and had come back, as he was only gone a handful of minutes. I had my back to the door, so I just assumed it was him. I asked, "Well, that was the shortest trek to campus and back. Everything okay?" I didn't get an answer, so I turned around, and it wasn't my partner standing there, but the neighbor who lived across the hall from us, standing in front of my door, the only means of escape I had. We live on the second floor, and I'm not about to go jump out of a window should he try to tackle me. I'm only 5'2", and this guy is easily 6'3" and no slouch. In other words, he could take me down pretty easily. I snapped at him. "What do you think you're doing in my apartment, Jasper?" This guy has a serious schizoaffective disorder that requires heavy-duty medication. He'd been off his meds for some time, and our landlord was his carer. And when it was time for his monthly shot, he'd disappear for a while, thinking he'd avoid getting the dose. All he said to me was, "I just want a cigarette." My partner was a smoker more than I was, but I wasn't going to pilfer his smokes to give this guy anything. I just wanted him gone. He was fairly harmless for the most part, but he made me quite nervous because he is known for busting out all his windows out of his apartment in a psychotic rage one night, and subsequently did the same with the neighbors below him.
Raw.
So, you can understand why I didn't want to engage him. I snapped on him that he needed to leave or I was calling the landlord. He repeated himself again, and I again told him as I was reaching for the phone, "I'm going to ring the landlord if you don't get out of my apartment now." He took off, and we didn't see much of him after that. Ever since that afternoon, I keep my door locked at all times unless I know someone's on their way over and will be here shortly so they can just come on in. But they know to announce themselves. I ended up moving out of that apartment as soon as I could.
That's the end. That doesn't look like creepy Halloween. The third one, no.
Skip.
On the wrong video, wrong one. Anyway, you're not going in that video because that's the wrong one. It's not relevant. Anyway, this has been your boy Friday Energy. Please like, subscribe. Oh, come on. Well, come on. Is that his limit? Oh, that sucks, son. That sucks ass. Subscribe and peace. Happy Halloween. And even though I don't celebrate. Hey, you. Yeah, you. What? Follow me on Insta. That's where it's going down.
Happy Halloween, guys. Gonna upload in November around, I think November 6th, 7th. But more videos to come. Thank you for guys, and yeah, see you in a bit. Yeah. Happy Halloween.